Hi guys, Ryan here for the London Craftsman, and today's video is all about how to make a wardrobe. It's the basics of how to biscuit a corner. Any wardrobe or any carcass that you're going to be making is going to need some kind of support, whether it's a domino or a biscuit or a dowel. Today I'm going to be talking about a biscuit, which is the most commonly used connector type. A nice simple device to join your corner. So what we're going to be doing is showing you how to biscuit your slots in, what dimensions you need to come across, whether the side runs through, whether the top and bottom runs through, all the information that you need to know to put a wardrobe together. So stay tuned, watch to the end, and I hope you enjoy. So basically, what we have here, if you come around here, Sean, let's just imagine this is our carcass. Okay, we've got a side running through. On this occasion, what we generally do is our side all the way runs through to the bottom, always runs through, and our bottom runs up to the side. It'll be the same for the top. So what we need to do is put a biscuit slot in here and a biscuit slot in here. These are the biscuits that we're going to be using, size 10s. You can use size 20s as well, but we generally stick to size 10s because we don't need to get any bigger. They're just basically for location. So what we do on something that is up to 600, we generally put 3 screws in. So we come in 50, 50, and one more in the center with our screws. We also put 2 biscuits in. So the biscuit will be 100mm in and 100mm in. Okay, so that is what we're going for to fix our corner. Remember, the biscuits are only there for location. If you feel like you want to glue them as you're assembling the unit, feel free. I never do. I don't think it's worth it. I put backings on everything. So by the time it's all screwed together, I don't really feel the need to use glue. Anyway, let's go ahead and mark out our sides. So the first way we can do it is we can put our side on our bottom, line them up like so, and square all our lines on the top here. We would generally do this, as professionals, we would do this because if we had a stack of 50, 100 pieces, whatever, 10, 20 pieces, we can square it across once, then as we're machining, moving them around and biscuiting and drilling, all we need to do is ping those lines across onto the piece. We've got them on every single piece. But for this particular video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just join them up like this and draw them on the face for you so you can see what I'm doing a bit more clearly. Right, let's get my tape measure. So from the back edge, the first screw is going to be 50mm. Let's move those across so we can see the joint. Now our biscuit is 100. So screw 50mm in, biscuit 100. We've got a carcass of 455. So divide that in 2. What's that? 222.5. You can do 220. That is our center screw. So I'm going to turn my tape round and just replicate that side over here. 50, 100. So for the sake of this, I'm going to write S for screw, B, S, B, S. Screw, biscuit, screw, biscuit, screw. If you've just got MDF or ply and you need to just remind yourself what they are, I'll just say to draw the letters on. So let's close this up, line it up, and all we need to do now is square across the B line, which is the biscuit. 1, 2. Okay, so that'll be for our biscuit slot. We're not going to be putting a screw hole on this side, and you'll see why later. So first things first, let's just get the drilling out of the way. Turn this around. On our combi drill, we've just got a 3mm drill bit. We always use 3s because they work perfectly with a 450 screw, that type thread. Okay, so this is what we use. Yeah, 4x50s or 8x2s, okay? So before we drill that, we need to know how far to come in with our screw hole because we're screwing in to an 18mm carcass. Our screw needs to be up a 9mm, half of that. Okay, so let's transfer that 9 on where it says screw, 9mm. Or if you really want, if you're doing multiple, get yourself a combination square and just ping those lines across. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we know where our 3mm drill bit's going to go. Lean that over. Don't worry about the back. You will get breakout, but it's the back of the carcass, so you're not going to see it. Okay, job 1 done. That's all the holes done. We don't need to do anything more with the holes. So next thing we're going to do is do a biscuit slot. All right, so remember safety first. So what we want to do is clamp our work down, and we want to really create a fence. So I'm using a bit of 25mm or anything to create a lip for the biscuiter to hit up against, okay? So first things first, I'm just going to put that, let's just call it a fence, clamped against our bench and our workpiece as well. We then want to push that workpiece as tight as we can, that's critical, up against our fence and clamp it down. We cheat sometimes, we miss this, well, I'm not gonna lie, we miss this section out, we just do it freehand. But for you, we need to do it properly and we need to show you the right way. Okay, so now we've got B and we've got B. Once we put that biscuit in front, it's gonna be in the way, isn't it? So what I'm gonna do is transfer that B line and that B line across. So let's turn the hoover on. Just take your time. We've got this set to a 10 size biscuit. Line the red line up with the pencil. Done. Just let it turn off before you move it. There we go. So, like I said, we've got this set up to a number 10. On your little dial here, you'll see the number 10. You've got 20 and you've got 0. Different size biscuits, okay? We're using 10 biscuits. It's basically just the medium size biscuit. So that component is done now. We don't need to do any more than that on that component. That's the side. All done. 3 holes and 2 biscuit slots. Nice and simple. Let's remove this now because we don't necessarily need to use this anymore for what we're doing. If we were doing all the bottoms all in one go, we would have kept that there and just done all the bottoms, or, you know, we would do all the components in one hit. Right, that out of the way. Okay, so let me just show you where we are now. So now we've got that slot, you can now visualize a little bit more how those slots are going to work, okay? We need to transfer that slot onto this side. Remember, we've got the base in line with this bottom corner. So now we're going to need the base in line with this bottom corner for them to match, okay? I'm going to move this out of the way. Keep this flat. Underside, keep the underside down. And we're literally just going to clamp that to the bench like last time. Right, this is the bit where you need to just make sure it's flat up against your bench here. Okay, you don't want it to be sticking up, you don't want any dust or dirt, have any gaps. Make sure it's nice and flat, which it is. We've got our lines there. So, let's go and turn the hoover on. On this one, all we simply do is line up this line here with the bench line. Right, so let's place these biscuits in. Remember, we're using size 10s. Can you see the biscuit slot is slightly bigger than the actual biscuit? So if you put it in and it's slightly to the left or slightly to the right, you've got a little bit of play. Not like a domino if you have it in its tight setting. Just make sure you find roughly the halfway line and it should work. Yeah, we're good to go now. So we're going to lift that bottom up. We're going to lift this side up. And we're just going to simply slide them together. And they should locate lovely. Yep. Located, ready for your screw. So the reason we do this is if we've got 5 carcasses to make, or you're just doing a whole big wardrobe, loads of corners. If you don't have this, it's just a nightmare trying to hold the corner nice and flush. For the sake of plunging a biscuit in place, it just makes your life a lot more easier. Okay, so let's just double check to make sure it's relatively square before we screw it. There we go. You can always get an actual block, a square block, and you clamp it on to keep it square as you're pre-drilling. But I just find as long as you just make sure it's relatively square with a roofing square or something along those lines, by the time you put your screw in, it'll pull it nice and square for you. So now we've got our guides. Remember, we can't go straight in with a screw. That'll just literally split the MDF apart. We've put these in as a guide just because now it's going to be so much easier to pre-drill the rest. All the way in, make sure you've got that sticking out 50mm, the length of the screw. And before I do any more, to make my life a little bit easier, I'm going to put one in, and what that does is hold the corner together for me. Remember, 450 screw. Okay, lovely. So let's hold that corner nice and square for me now, and it's not going to move. Don't know why I put glasses on for a drill. Okay, so let's just finish those off. Keep the drill nice and square. 2 more screws. There you go. You can use any drill to put those screws in, a combi. And that is it, a nice strong corner. That's all you really need to know to put a carcass together, apart from using a domino, which maybe we'll go into another day. I generally stick with the biscuits because they're nice and simple, they're cheap, and they do exactly what you need them to do. So I hope that helps, guys. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments bar. Remember, like and subscribe if you find it helpful. Apart from that, guys, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.